Today my guest is Joe Kunk of AJ Boggs. Joe, how you doing?
Hey, Dave.
Good to see you again.
See it.
Joe, I heard a rumor that you're writing a book.
Well, I'm not writing a full book. I'm writing a chapter on the book. The book is ASP.NET Controls by DevExpress. It's a ROX title. It'll be out for PDC. So at PDC, the DevExpress booth is giving away 2,500 copies of this book. It is written. The primary author is Paul Kimmel of Lansing, Michigan fame, part of our user group actually. And this will be, I believe, his 18th title that he's written.
Wow!
So a very experienced author.
How much are you writing? How much are you writing?
How much am I writing? I'm writing one single chapter. It's a great way to kind of get my feet wet in publishing. I'm writing chapter 13, which is on the Extra Reports product, which.
Ooh. Chapter 13.
Yes, chapter 13. yes, and the joke on chapter 13 is it's fine to have chapter 13 as the first chapter you've ever written, as long as it doesn't start on the book on page 666. So we're hopeful that won't happen.
All right. So what's the topic of your chapter?
The topic is Extra Reports. DevExpress has a product for reporting that works right inside the Visual Studio experience. And it's one of those products that's a really nice gem in their suite that a lot of people don't know about, and we need to get the word out that it's there. It's a great product, and so I use it in a lot of my engagements as a consultant, and been very happy with it for a number of years.
It's a reporting tool?
It is a reporting tool. So basically you can open up a standard .NET website, web application, or a Windows Form application, and you just add new item, and if you have the product, it's sitting there as an extra. It says Extra Reports, and you add that to your solution, and it just opens up a report designer, and you hook in a data source and start dragging fields over, and away you go.
That sounds a lot like Crystal Reports or SQL Server reporting services. How does it differ from those products?
Well, there's certainly some differences. Another competitor, of course, is Crystal Reports, so it would be an alternative to Crystal Reports. Some differences are that the Extra Reports tool is an end-user tool. It's part of your application. So it's not a server-based tool like SQL Server Reporting Services is a server-based tool.
So the designer is distributable with your application?
That's correct. The Extra Reports is part of their full suite, or you can buy it separately. You can buy it as just an application, or you can buy it with source code if you want source code of their product. And it's licensed per developer, and it's unlimited runtime. So one developer can buy one copy and then write all the reports they want and use it anywhere they want.
Okay. And have you used this product in your applications?
I have. I've been using it for several years. Well, we used it in a recent client. We have a manufacturing client who has some very complex reports that cover basically all their financial reporting. And these are reports that critical business decisions are made off of, and we use that tool to produce their profit reports, for example.
Are they using the end user to create, or the end user designer to create ad hoc reports?
They are. That's one of the things that's really, really nice about this tool at the particularly low price point that this tool is available, is that it does include, as part of the price, an end user designer. And so the way I've typically used that tool is I've created a view in the database that kind of denormalizes some of the data, brings all of the related tables together into a single row.
Makes it a little easier for
Makes it easier for the user, exactly. And so I set that as the data source for the report, and it literally just takes a moment. And then it's 2 lines of code in a WinForms application to expose that out to the user as a designer.
Oh, so it's available in WinForms and in WebForms.
Yeah, well, the designer itself is a Windows application and must be launched from a Windows application.
Okay.
But it can do Windows reports or web reports.
I see. Okay. And the data source, you're a SQL Server guy, though. You're
That's
a SQL
correct.
Server MVP. So you work mostly, when you're working with your
Actually, a VB.NET MVP.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know.
No problem.
But you are a SQL Server guy.
I've done quite a bit in SQL Server, yes.
So I'm thinking when you're working with this product, you're mostly talking to SQL Server.
That is correct.
But it must talk to other databases as well, right?
Well, and that was, in my case, that was one of the primary selection criteria when I started to get involved with this product, is because I didn't want to be tied to a single data source. I mean, I needed the flexibility to report off anything I wanted to. So this tool, in its current form, will support reporting directly off an XML database. And in the book chapter, I actually give you some SQL, an example SQL query that will query SQL Server 2005 and above and produce exact XML that's needed for this tool.
Oh, okay.
So that's an example in my book chapter. And then you also can report off of custom objects. So you can report off of anything that's an iBinding list, an iList, or an iList source.
Oh, interesting. So it's not even persistent data sources, just in-memory objects.
In-memory objects, yes.
Okay.
Makes it very, very flexible.
What about data warehouses and OLAP cubes and analysis services? Will it work with that sort of thing?
Well, it supports a pivot grid. So
Okay.
pivot grids are typically used in BI type applications.
It's business intelligence.
That's what, yeah. It's actually more.
I'm the no, it's not. Well, I won't go to that debate. But I am an anti-acronym zealot.
Okay,
I'm an
so business intelligence.
AAZ.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you can tell I haven't done a lot with the pivot grid, but it's certainly there. And one of the nice things about having it as a Visual Studio experience is that it's something you already know how to use. I mean, the learning curve is very, very small
Yeah.
to get into this product. You don't have to learn any new interfaces, basically. There's all of the controls have smart tags, and most of what you want to do is in smart tags. So it's very easy to navigate and get to things. If you want to add unique functionality, every single object on the report has a before print event, and since this is a .NET application, you just code to that before print event, and you make whatever modifications you want to
Do some sort
the
of
report.
conditional logic.
Yeah,
hide
whatever you want to do.
sections, for example.
So great. So it's just a very comfortable and natural feeling experience for a .NET developer.
Okay. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think that's it.
Where can people find out more about Joe Kunk?
Where can people find more about Joe Kunk? My blog is jbknet.blogspot.com.
Okay. And the book comes out.
Book comes out for PDC. The initial release will be at PDC
right?
in November. Yes.
Oh wow.
And
Really
it
busy.
will be available if you're not going to be able to make it to PDC. Then it will be available on Amazon.com. I think they have it up there for pre-order already.
You must be really close to finishing it then.
I'm hoping to finish it within the next day or two. I mean, my chapter at least. The book itself, I think, is going to the publisher this month.
Well, good luck. Congratulations.
Yep.
Thanks a lot for talking with us.
Thank you. Okay, I'd like to say I've met the majority of my friends working in technology.